What's up, everyone? Welcome to Home Church. I'm here outside on the balcony at my parents' house today because it is a beautiful sunny day in Texas. How's everyone's week been? It's Thursday. I'm so happy it's Thursday. It's like, despite it being quarantine, Thursday and Friday, they still feel different. The energy, still nice. Still beautiful. I got a great show today. I got Taylor Searing on later. It's going to be awesome. He's an amazing musician, and he's a lieutenant of a fire station in New York City. He's incredible, so we're going to talk to him later and do some sing-alongs. The first, I thought we'd start today. Usually I do an original, but today I'm going to do a cover for a couple reasons. One is, well, okay, so one of the home churches, like from last week, I think last Tuesday, I put a comment, or it's up on YouTube. I always put these on YouTube after the session, and I got a comment from Bill Durrell, who said, "Lorena, this was good, but your hard candy Christmas was the best." Maybe a redo for Christmas in July since we don't know where we'll be in 2 months. Your positive influence, which is what we need more than anything right now. We thank you, Missy. I thank you, Bill, for watching my home church. And that's sort of backhanded compliment. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. I'm so honored that you watched it and that you think I'm positive. And I hear you. And I'm here for you, the people. So today, our sing-along is going to be Hard Candy Christmas. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Ashley, because, like, I read Bill's comment and I was thinking about it, like, ooh, should I do Hard Candy Christmas as a cover? I don't really know, because, like, it's Christmas. One of my pet peeves is Christmas songs not at Christmas, but it's not truly a Christmas song, right? It's from the musical Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. But what tipped me over the edge was my friend Ashley sent me this meme. What are you doing tomorrow? And then it's like a clip of Dolly Parton and singing, maybe I'll drive my car, maybe I'll lose some weight, like all that stuff. So I was like, saw that this morning, tipped me over the edge. So without further ado, here's the official first performance ever of my song, Hard Candy Christmas. Well, not my song, but my version of Hard Candy Christmas. And in this, so like when we recorded it, right, the actual sing-along part is something I added. It's not in the original song. But, you know, I just freaking love sing-alongs. So we're definitely gonna hit that up, and I'm gonna go over it with you first so that you at home can sing along too, and we can all uplift our energy and feel better and open our throat chakras and sing out loud about how life won't get us down, right? So the sing-along part goes, well, you can sing along to all of it, but especially this part. Won't bring me down, won't bring me down, won't bring me down. Again, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down, won't bring me down again. Won't bring me down. I feel like I can hear you. Don't bring me down, don't bring me down again. Won't bring me down, no. Won't bring me down, won't bring me down. One more time, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down, won't bring me down, won't bring me down, won't bring me down, won't bring me down. Alright, you got it? Yeah? Yeah? Hey, maybe I'll dye my hair. Maybe I'll move somewhere. Maybe I'll get a car. Maybe I'll drive so far that I'll lose track. Me, I'll bounce right back. Maybe I'll sleep real late. Maybe I'll lose some weight. Maybe I'll clear my junk. Maybe I'll just get drunk on apple wine. Me, I'll be just fine and dandy. Lord, it's like a hard candy Christmas. I'm barely getting through tomorrow. Still, I won't let sorrow bring me way down. Here we go. Hey, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Oh, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Hey, maybe I'll learn to sew. Maybe I'll just lie low. Maybe I'll hit the bars. Maybe I'll count the stars until the dawn. Me, I will go on. Maybe I'll settle down. Maybe I'll just leave this town. Maybe I'll have some fun. Maybe I'll meet that one and I'll make him mine. Me, I'll be just fine and dandy. Lord, it's like a hard candy Christmas. I'm barely getting through tomorrow. Still, I won't let sorrow bring me way down. Here we go. Down. Don't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Oh, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Hey, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. No, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. I'll be fine and dandy. Lord, it's like a hard candy Christmas. I'm barely getting through tomorrow. Still, I won't let sorrow bring me way down. Sing that. Oh, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Oh, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. No, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. No, won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. Won't bring me down. And that's Hard Candy Christmas. First ever performance. Y'all are all a witness. I've never played that live. Ever. But this year, I mean, if I'm torn by Christmas, I really want to do a Christmas show. I think I got enough repertoire, enough Christmas rep at this point. And if you're like, ooh, I'm really feeling that, go check out the music video on YouTube. So I want to give a special shout out to my travel grant sponsors, who are now the sponsors of this show, Home Church, here Fort Worth. Thank you so much. They're the best. Here for all the musicians in Fort Worth. They rock. I'm so grateful to them for allowing me to do this during quarantine. And today, like I said, we have Taylor Searing on the show, and he's going to close out with a song because he's an amazing musician. I used to gig with him quite frequently in New York. But before we do that, so I'm going to hit up thoughts and prayers before we do it. And before I get into thoughts and prayers, I just gonna, so earlier I was scrolling the Instagram and I saw a post from my friend Madison Russell, and she put this post, vent about your joy, not just your problems. And then she's like, my joys, and she lists them out. And as I was reading it, I was like, ooh, this makes me feel so good, because I agree with all of it. And I mean, before quarantine, which I've talked about quite a lot, it's like the guilt of, it's like hard to feel super confident about feeling awesome, I think, because there is so much suffering, and then we ourselves have our own struggles of like not being good enough or not producing enough or whatever it may be that you're struggling with, which I think is something unique about quarantine, is like you can't keep as physically busy in the world, so then besides just the way your world works being totally shifted, it's a lot of like stillness to like internally look inside yourself and for me, I've been like, oh, okay, here's some demons I've been hiding. Let me deal with this problem. So I think this post is really cool. Vent about your joy, because it's hard, because on social media too, I think sometimes if people are like overly happy, or if you're only showing good stuff, then when you're just like, I just am so grateful for this humble brag, it seems like bragging. It doesn't really feel authentic, versus how can we make that more of an authentic thing? I'm not really sure. Maybe you know the answer. But I just wanted to, I think this is good, to vent about our joy. So I'm going to pray for the courage to vent about and see our small joys that we have every day. For anyone who's tuning in for the first time, this is something I always do on Home Church. It's called the Thoughts and Prayers section. And Home Church is not religious, but it is spiritual. And I just want to take the time, because I think right now, like collective prayers and us collectively uplifting ourselves with, positive thoughts and praying for that and seeking it is something that it really just, hopefully, I hope, is the norm. So I'm just adding that to my show as a way to bring that spirituality into our little moments. So, all right, you can close your eyes, do whatever you want, grab crystals, doesn't matter. Dear God, thank you so much for this time today, bringing us together for Home Church, that we all have these technologies and resources to tune in and tap into one another, even though we're isolated in quarantine. I pray that we will all have the courage to be hopeful and joyous despite our circumstances, that inside of us we have such a confidence about our beauty, our strength, and despite whatever storm is around us, that we feel this internal sunshine within us that helps us have courage and motivation and wake up with just gratitude, seeing everything that we do have, and that we have the courage to share about that goodness with others so that it begets more goodness, and that we all kind of raise ourselves together. Thank you for what you have given us and our strength and the ability to have this time together. Amen. Awesome. So today our guest is Taylor Searing, and I am so stoked. Taylor is the man. I met him mutually. I don't know if y'all remember, I did glitter jars with Brenda Kittle a few weeks ago. And her husband is in the FDNY and works with Taylor, and that's how I first met Taylor. He is based in Rockaway. I'm going to call him up here on the Skype. He's based in Rockaway. He's an incredible musician. He gigs all around Rockaway, Long Island, and Taylor came into my life actually in a very spiritual time, I feel like, where I was struggling with a lot of things. Like the first time I really cut myself short in pay for a gig. And I was really, it was my first kind of lesson in value of like what I am allowed to charge for what I can offer to play somebody's event and building a band, blah, blah, blah. And Taylor was somebody, he's older and he has more experience than I do with gigging and live music, and he has such understanding and he's so open-minded. And I remember just sharing with him about, like, I cannot describe to you this feeling I have where I cut myself so short and I'm the only person to blame for it. And Taylor's advice to me about moving forward and kind of how to, just like his mentorship and the business side of it without, like passing off how I was feeling as being not significant. He really understood, and I was so grateful for that. And Taylor just cares about every person he meets. He's such a genuine person. So I'm going to call him up here, and we're going to get him on because he is so interesting to talk to. I said Kevin was the number one guy to grab a beer with at the bar, but Taylor's like neck and neck. He's right there. He's the man. So I'm giving him a call right now. We're going to get him on here. Oh. Taylor, hold on, you're not live yet. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool.
Yay. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Yeah.
So
trying to keep the kids at bay for a little bit. I'll bring them into the fold in a minute, but I'm like, come on, just be quiet for a minute so I can like kind of chat, with Lorena and use Jackson's headset for chatting, because obviously earlier when we had a little sound check, I think we decided this one's the best thing.
Yeah.
This was the best.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So I started introducing you. So Taylor's a lieutenant in the FDNY. He's a soul-sufer, family man. He's got an amazing family. They live in Rockaway, and he's also a music connoisseur. He does so many gigs. He's always playing, always creating, and he's part of a band, which we'll talk about later, the Sam Hill Band, and I'm going to link them in the description of this and everything so everybody can see afterwards, but he's just all around incredible, stoked, badass person, so I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me. I know we chatted about this a while back. I think we were probably at the studio, and I said, oh, man, it would be so cool to have a podcast and just, chat about like music and just anything. But I wasn't sure, because I was like, who's going to want to listen to me? But, look, everybody's doing it. I'm doing it every time I go into work,
Yes, no, for real. I do think you could be like another Joe Rogan. I really believe that. You're in that.
Well, I got some good friends, and we tend to get into good conversations. So
yeah, it's so true. But I know what you mean. That's how I felt about Home Church, of like, is this even worth doing? I don't really know. But then there's always like one or two people who send me a personal message, and I'm like, all right, I'll keep doing it, I guess. It's worth it, yeah.
No, it's great, man. And I liked what you were just talking about, and to reiterate what, that's kind of why I reached out to you last time. I was like, you just nailed it, because it's tough to say, hey, I'm kind of enjoying this a little bit,
Yeah.
You don't want to, and you definitely feel like a little bit of you're like, I might miss a little bit of this, but, because it's terrible. There's so much stuff going on. It's terrible, but there's a lot of good stuff that's going on for me personally. I am at work. I'm seeing the bad side of things, but I'm also home, spending a lot of time with the kids. I'm learning a little bit more about music theory, and trying at least. I got my keyboard here. I don't know if you can see it, but I got yelled at for having the notes marked on my keyboard. But
who yelled at you about that?
My old jazz teacher. He's like, first of all, get those off your piano.
I don't know. To each their own, I think. Everyone's got a different way.
Yeah.
That was like, actually, I started taking, my last year in New York, I was taking piano lessons from a guy, and he had me download an app for sight reading, and I was like, oh my gosh, if this existed when I was like 5 years old and taking piano, this would have been a way more efficient way for me. I might have been more stoked to like actually learn to sight read or something. There's so many cooler tools that you can have now to learn music theory.
Oh, you ain't kidding. You got to take advantage of them, too, because, I don't know, it's like one little roadblock, especially with me. I've got the attention span of, like, not even like a little kid, not even like a puppy, maybe like a gnat. I can barely, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always from one to the next, So whatever keeps me focused, I'm using it.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
I'm going to put some notes on my keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, so something that, when was it? A couple live streams ago, what did you text me that you're the limbo champion, the limbo king?
Oh, well, you were talking about, you're like, oh, we're kind of in limbo. And, I said, well, you can make the most of limbo. Because we're all in a bit of a state of limbo.
Yeah.
We don't know, we're all stuck inside. We're not sure what to do. And you were talking about that. And I just said, well, limbo could be fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Which touches on that concept again, like. But I was just kidding, like, limbo could be fun, like as if you're at a wedding. I was thinking about limbo, like get up, get down, and get down low and have a blast,
That is true.
So that's what we're doing. We're making the most out of like a tough situation.
Yeah.
And I was writing down some of the things, like we're going, like I said, we're spending a lot of time with the kids. They're getting stir crazy, but we get them out to the beach. They're going to like get sea glass. They're just, whatever. It's just stuff that you wouldn't normally do. We're cooking a little bit more. We're baking. We're, I'm doing their homework. It's crazy trying to get them to get work done, and it gets a little intense.
Yeah.
But, I'm relearning some math, math.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh my God. I don't know if I'd pass like 8th. I don't, yeah.
Everybody talks so negatively about this Common Core, but honestly, it's not so bad. It's just kind of like a different way of looking at things. So
yeah, definitely.
you get through it, but it ain't easy.
Yeah, yeah. It is like just a mental game. Definitely for me, it's like I think it's like by slowing down, I've realized a lot of things about myself that maybe I wasn't being like dead ass honest about. Like, oh, that like is a toxic way of thinking that I never was with that thought long enough to be like, okay, how can I remove that? Yeah, things like that.
I'm just trying to teach my kids, like, I'm not so worried about exactly what grade they're getting. I'm trying to do what wasn't there for me, which was when a lot of my teachers would say to me, like, all right, just plug this formula in and get the answer. It's like a magic trick, you know? But I always was the type of person that I need to know exactly why things are happening. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'll never remember it.
Yeah.
It's gone forever. You know, so that's what I've been working on with my daughter, just trying to, like, get her to understand, like, why are they doing this? What are we looking at here? And never mind, if you get it right or wrong, it's not the end of the world. It's just like, can you figure out conceptually what's going on here?
Definitely.
I think that would be better than, you know, A's, B's, and C's and all that. It's just like, could you figure this? Could you understand why we might need this?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem as a kid, right? You're always like, what do I need this for? I'm never going to use this. And so
that's what my dad used to always say to me growing up when I'd be like, oh, like had bad grades. He'd just be like, Lorena, C students run the world. The most successful man I know only went up to the 8th grade. And I was just like, dang, yeah. So that, I mean, maybe that wasn't helpful. But I think it was because it's just like what you're talking about, like understanding the concept and why is more street smart. And that's what gets you further once you're like out in the world, is being able to like hustle with all the, you know, with your thoughts and understand the concept and make it happen, rather just like, okay, somebody's going to tell me what to do and then approve it. You know, doesn't exist like at all.
Well, like you were talking about before, there's so many new ways to learn how to, you know, get to where you want to be, whether it's apps or whether it's these notes on the keyboard or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So they're going to have that, and it's just a reality.
Yeah.
So I think it's more important to understand why things are happening and also to understand how to be. And what I always say to my daughter is like, listen, just be nice to people. Be nice. Don't be a jerk, because the other stuff's going to come. It's right in the palm of your hand. We have, you know, the phone and whatever, and you know, we're going to have to utilize that stuff. But I think what they're lacking now is kind of like the social skills.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to work on that stuff too with them. Get them out, get face to face.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I can tell you, it's a lot nicer to be talking to somebody on the computer than I give you a lot of credit, because you opened, but it's almost like you're talking to no one. But even though there's people out there, you can see them looking. But for me, that's the most awkward part about this. Like I play, you know, we go live and we play some songs, and I'm trying to talk to some people in the middle of it. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not talking to anybody. You know?
I totally know. Yeah. There's sometimes when I'm playing like that, I feel like a Dementor is sucking my energy out as I'm playing. I'm just like, ugh, what is going on? Because I don't know. I love playing live and reading the room. There's been a lot of hurdles for me, like doing this, like highs and lows of like, what is going on? And then sometimes where I have to like really beckon it within myself before I start. So.
Well, the comments thing on the bottom usually helps. Like when people are saying, "Oh, they're clapping," or they're saying this. So then you kind of feel like you're interacting with people a little bit. But yeah, without a doubt, like nothing I do is I don't hardly even go to the studio or anything as far as like recordings. Mm-hmm. Everything I've ever done is with people in front of me talking to me, and I react to the crowd. And without that, I feel a little bit like lost, or you know.
Yeah. So on that, let's talk about give me your music journey, a synopsis from how did you first get into playing live and gigging?
All right. Well, I got into playing the guitar when I got on the fire department. That's what initially, you know, I said, all right, I have the time. Hey, my daughter's coming she's going to come on in a little bit. I think she's going to tell us a poem.
Yes, right? I have her poem to show. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. But so I started learning some chords. Once I got on the fire department, I had a little more time on my hands, you know, with the flexible schedule and everything. So I was always into singing. You know, my father taught me how to sing like some harmony parts with Beach Boys tunes as a kid. But I played more sports, so I never really got into learning how to play the instrument. So when I got on the job, I started learning some chords and putting some songs together with them, real easy, like 3-chord reggae tunes and stuff. And one of the first tunes I learned was a Van Morrison tune called Into the Mystic.
I love that song. I love when you play that song, especially. Oh my God, yes.
Oh, that was actually the first tune I learned how to play full through.
Oh my gosh.
The only reason I had to learn how to play it full through was because my buddy asked me to sing it at his wedding. And so, you know how, like, when you're starting off as a musician, you learn a bunch of tunes, but you never really know how to put that bow tie on them and finish them up.
Yeah.
So that was, like, what forced me to be like, all right, I have to get this down. I have to, like, you know, I got to perform it in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So,
and in an emotional situation, too. It's hard.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that was my friend Charlie. He actually asked me to sing one of my dad's originals. I shouldn't say it's my dad. I think it was my uncle wrote this tune. My dad and my uncle grew up, you know, playing together, and they had a bunch of original tunes. And my uncle Tommy wrote this tune, and I think it was called Snowflakes by My Window. And he talks about Carol, and that was my friend Charlie was marrying Carol. And I said, listen, that's a beautiful song, but it's all about breaking up. Like, I don't think that's appropriate for your wedding.
Yeah, for real.
So we settled on Into the Mystic. So I played that, and this guy, Jerry Bracco, was there, and he owns a club over on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, and he immediately came to me. He was like, which is great. I felt so thankful that he like said, hey, man, you got a nice voice. I want you to play my club. And I was like, listen, this is the only song I know how to play, you know, full through. I really don't have – he goes, I don't care. You come in, you're going to play my club, you know. And I was like, all right. So we played the gig in Freeport. I had gotten some equipment from, you know, I went to buy it. Another thing, that was another step. Like it forced me to go, all right, I need to get some, like at least 45 minutes to an hour's worth of material. So, and I had asked my buddy Matt to come along and play with me. And we did the gig. We brought a great crowd. We had a lot of fun. And it was almost like a Blues Brothers scenario where, like, after it was all said and done, we owed, like, quite a bit more on our tab than we even made for the gig. So we were like, you know, that's how it all started. But that was because it was like when we first started, it was just like a party, you know, like it was just more like about having fun. We were young and we had good friends that were just happy to see us in front of a crowd. So, you had asked me about this story before, so I'll mention it again. We would do a lot of like backyard barbecues and stuff. And one of our first gigs, we played this barbecue at Lido Beach. And it was all our friends, and they were like, "Oh, when are you guys playing? Aren't you know?" They were joking, they're like calling us the Water Boys. They were giving us that name at first. And they called this bar, and they're like, "Hey, the Water Boys playing tonight?" And the guy's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "We didn't book anybody called the Water Boys." Like, so he had like tons of people calling him up, right? And all day, this poor bartender, he had nobody there, and he's just getting harassed by people going, "Hey, we're waiting to see the Water Boys." So we go to this place in Long Beach. It used to be called the Finn. I forget what it was called at that time. It was so long ago. But now it's like a beer garden place or something. So we walk in. It's dead. There's nobody there. And we're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "All right." You know, and we're like, "We're here to play some music. We're the Water Boys." And he's like, "You guys, you're the Water Boy." You know,
Wait,
like,
so you just showed up, no preface, after all the calls?
Yeah, we just showed up. We just showed up and said, "Yeah, we're here to play a gig," you know. And he's like, "Listen, man, you can't just book yourselves. You can't. What is this? Who does that?" You know. And I was like, "Well, we do," you know. And he's like, and he was all mad about it, right? I guess because he was getting annoyed about the calls all day. So I was like, "All right, no problem, man. We get it. You know, we'll just take our 40 friends that are outside and we'll go to the next place." You know. He's like, "Oh, wait. Because then he looked outside and he seen like a huge crowd.
Yeah.
He was gonna make a lot of money. And we were like, "No, too late. We're going to the next spot." And we went to the Tiki Bar, and Brian Bradish was like, "Yeah, come on in."
My God!
And we packed the place out. We were terrible. Our sound system was like, there was so much feedback and all, you know, like, but nobody cared.
Nobody cares if they're making money. Nobody cares.
No, and we were tipping the bartenders. That was like our biggest thing, because when we first started out, we were so terrible, but nobody cared because we were just like, "Here you go." And the bartenders were like, "These guys are great. They're the best," you know, because our friends were tipping them. We were tipping them. Yeah. And then we kept getting hired. And as we got hired, we would get better. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it kind of just worked like that. But we were playing a lot of like Bob Marley tunes and Jack Johnson and Sublime. Sublime was like the first band that I ever got into, like, to play. And they're pretty easy tunes. and it just went over real well in Long Beach, so it was perfect. So that was how we started out.
That's so good.
And eventually we recalled. We used to play. Hold on one second. my wife's got it on, so I'm hearing it in the background.
I have to my whole family. I'm like, nobody used the internet. But today I'm using an Ethernet cable, so I'm like finally getting my tech together.
So we used to play barefoot all the time, and we didn't even give ourselves that name. One of our friends did, and we had like a little acoustic trio, like my buddy Billy on the bass, my friend Matt Layton on guitar, and we just sang together and had a blast for a little while. And that's kind of what got me into music, down that rabbit hole that we were talking about.
It's so good. Yes, yeah. I didn't remember that it was like from a wedding, and then that's how y'all got that first gig. That's hilarious. It was really hilarious.
We started out. I met Matt at an open mic in Long Beach, so that's really kind of the first part of it. And some of my friends, they were all very like, I was pretty terrible on the guitar, but I could hold a tune with vocally, so they were all like very encouraging.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to keep with it. Sounds good.
Totally. Yeah. That was similar. I actually, my first gig was subbing for somebody at Syrah's, which I had gotten from playing playing for City Sticks at Rockaway at that farm on 44th Street. Mm-hmm. And then it was like at Syrah's, they just kept letting me come, and my drinks would always be free. And I just started playing and bringing more people and then bringing other bands. And then I was like, I guess I'm a gigging musician now. But it's like once you realize what you can make gigging, and you have a good network of bars, it's a blast.
It is. It really is. And I couldn't believe it. And this is like the kind of the conflicting thing about being a musician. It's like you're having so much fun doing it, and I think a lot of places eventually try to exploit that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where they like expect you to just show up and play for whatever. Oh, we're gonna feed you and give you drinks and all that. And don't get me wrong, that was a blast. But there's only so much of that you could do. Eventually, like you mentioned earlier, you kind of were cutting your prices and all that. I think I was watching that, right?
Yes, yeah. I was talking. Yeah.
And it's tough. It's a fine balance because you feel so lucky and blessed that people actually want to listen to what you're doing, but eventually you're like, what the heck am I doing? Yeah. I gotta kind of get paid. I think musicians have been making the same salary since like my father was a kid. He told me what he was making at some of these weddings back then. It's like the same. It's pretty much the same.
It's crazy.
So and then you think about what DJs make too, and it's like, wow, they make tons of money, and they just, and nothing against them because that's a craft within itself too, because when you watch the live shows like that, everything that's been going on Facebook, and even me personally, I'm getting a kick out of the DJs probably the most, because they're interacting with the people that are commenting and stuff, which is so important, because my buddy Chris Long, and I think he did it with another guy. They started this Facebook Live page, a coronavirus, virtual bar. Did you hear about that yet? They got 32,000 people in on this thing. You gotta play.
I gotta look it up.
You gotta perform.
Holy crap!
They're crushing it. They just got people from all over the world looking at this thing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He started this virtual bar. There's like virtual coronavirus quarantine.
Is that what one of your live streams was? Were you like streaming live from your page and it was going to theirs?
Yes.
It was like a Saturday night thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I screwed that up because I went live. That was like the first live I ever did. So I hit live from my page, but I didn't realize I had to hit live from their page.
Yeah.
So then I cut it short and went to their page. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was late for my virtual gig. I was like, I'm never late for gigs that I go out and about. I'm always like an hour early. I'm saying, I finally get a gig right here from the comforts of my home, and I'm a half hour late for it. But that's just, because I'm not that technically savvy.
And I always get nervous with the virtual things of like, I'm going to go on and then realize I have to take a poop or something, and I'm like, oh, how can I there's no break when you're the only person on the screen.
Well, that's why I have my daughter Giselle. She's such a ham. She loves getting on. To the point where my wife's like, you gotta tell her, like, because she keeps coming in, and she's like, she's promoting her Instagram account, all this stuff, like because she watches this stuff all the time on YouTube, and they're like professional marketers. So my daughter's got it all down. Give us a like and subscribe. She's doing, she's like, hit the like, smash the like, and all this stuff. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, do you want to bring her on?
Yeah,
for a poem?
Tell Giselle to come on out, Danielle.
I have her poem here. I don't know if I should show it on the screen as she performs it.
Well, while we wait for her to come on, I did want to say there's a couple of people I wanted to shout out. Like,
oh, yeah.
That have been keeping us sane during this whole time, this whole quarantine. So, like I said, Chris Long starting the coronavirus virtual bar. It's amazing. It's awesome. He's got DJ Teddy on almost every night. Teddy's been a Rockaway guy.
What Facebook page is it on that they're doing it on?
It's called Coronavirus Quarantine Virtual Bar.
Okay, I'm going to link it in this afterwards.
He's got DJ Teddy, Louis Mole, DJ Shane. He's got this other guy that does, like, name that tune. I spent, like, an hour just sitting there trying to type in, like, oh, I know that one. It's hilarious.
That's
he plays,
awesome.
like, this cocktail music and stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But, those guys,
Giselle.
they're awesome. They're keeping us all sane. Bobby Butler doing the Sunday Sauce. That's one of my favorite things on Sunday.
I have seen him. Okay, I've seen those, and I didn't realize it was coming from, I guess, the virtual bar.
I don't think Bobby's is coming from the virtual bar. He's just posting
doing
that on his
lives.
page. But it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So this is my daughter Giselle. She wrote a poem, and I read it.
Hey, Giselle.
Down. I was like, yo, this is awesome. You got to read it.
Hey, Giselle.
Say hi.
Hello.
Thanks for being on here. We're excited to hear your poem.
Hi, people. Got this one.
Here, I'll put
What's
it up.
the name of the poem?
Heart.
Okay.
A heart. Big, beating, beautiful, caring, peace, joyful forever. Joy forever. The world needs love right now. Brings people together. Love. L-O-V-E with 2 hearts at the bottom.
Beautiful.
Yay!
That was perfect for today.
It's beautiful. I just put it up on the screen, too, so people can read it while they're watching. Look, yours. Beautiful.
Want to tell them your Instagram?
Giselle_lovebug.
She's got such a sick Instagram
lovebug.
account. She's going to have to teach me how to do it.
All right, I'm going to put her on
editing?
IG, too.
I know. And I do editing with the Instagram. What's that on my face? Okay. And I do the shadows and stuff.
Nice.
And Dad, I can show you my Instagram. It's right here.
Brenda says, beautiful, Giselle. She loved your poem.
Instagram.
Here, I got it. I think she's going to show you her Instagram right now.
Okay, perfect.
This is my profile. Me and my friend right there.
Show her one of your pictures, one of your favorites.
My favorites. I do this for my messenger kid.
Look at this. I mean, she looks like forget it. She's all grown up.
Beautiful. Forget it. Forget it. Look at her. A real model.
Yeah.
Just hashtag influencing.
There's one I find it.
I didn't even know that Instagram was like still relevant for the younger generation.
There's that one. Cool.
Cool. Nice.
Here you go. Go ahead, Danny.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle.
Instagram to me is it's like very confusing. I don't know. It's not smooth for me. I don't understand how to really use it. So I have one, but I'm not good at it.
I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I like Instagram. Other times I'm like, oh, this pain is such an app. Or this app is such a pain. Because it's just another mode of like people messaging, and I'm like, just text or call me. I just hate having so many various platforms.
I think it's kind of a little bit less of an opinion-based thing. Like Twitter and Facebook are more about like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And you need to read this, you know? Instagram's kind of just like cool. It's just pretty light, you know?
Yeah.
Just cool pictures. So in that regard, I guess it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just more like you can like mindlessly scroll without getting really like worked up emotionally about anything.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I gotta cut down a little bit on my social media intake. It's not healthy, you know. But that's one thing about the quarantine. Like sometimes I've been getting out a lot, going for bike rides and stuff like that. But sometimes I find myself like all of a sudden a half hour's gone by. I'm like, what the heck did I just do with myself? And sitting on Facebook and stuff. But,
yeah, I totally understand that. I know what you mean. Oh man, well, I feel like there was so much more I wanted to talk about, but we're okay. We're okay on time. We're okay. So, do you have any idea of like when your next act physical gigs will be or anything like that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean everything. Yeah,
indeterminate.
I don't know. I guess we'll probably definitely do something outside, but it'll be more like Pete Brady and I were talking about going to the boardwalk and just playing and doing like a live gig from the boardwalk, you know, but keeping on distance. Some guys have been doing that, where they're playing in the backyard or whatever. So, but actually at a bar, I guess it's a good mind. I don't know when they're going to reopen everything.
Anything like that.
Especially here in New York. You know, Texas is got to be different, but New York has gotten slammed with this. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see. Time will tell.
That is crazy. So, can you tell us a little bit about your project with Sam Hill, that bands?
Yeah, sure. My buddy Scott Durier started it. We actually met on the fire department. He was a lieutenant in this Engine 216, and I worked in 108, the truck company there. And we just had, music in common, so we always talked about it, kept in touch. I did a couple of originals. I recorded a couple of original tunes down his basement years ago. And so we just always talked about, possibly one day getting together. And it just, I think he was looking to start like sort of a country band at one point. And I said, yeah, I'll try it. It's not really, I like it. It's not in my wheel. I like old country, and not so much the newer stuff. But I tried to we're trying to do some of the newer tunes too. Mm-hmm. But it's tough. I don't have like a country twang. It's a New Yorker trying to sing like a country guy. And it's like, But it's working so far.
I think it's cool though. It's your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The original version of it was going to be this country band, but that didn't really come to fruition. So we kind of mixed it with some, regular classic rock tunes. And I've been listening a lot to like Nathaniel Rateliff and that guy Raylan Baxter. That's the
soul,
Willie's tune.
Yeah. Like soul country. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a mix, and even like Nathaniel Rateliff even got like some of that gospel style stuff. With that song, Son of a Bitch, that he does. I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, he's got like a little bit of a Sam and Dave thing going with and the band.
Yeah.
That's how he describes it. It's awesome. But so I was able to kind of like mix that in and throw it in, and they seem to like it. So it's taking on its own form. And we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. So Taylor had sent me a cover of they did "Baby Please Come Home" for Christmas. And it's all of them, like, in a big room, and they're full band. I'm going to link that here, too. It is awesome. And, I started this with Hard Candy Christmas. I'm a total sucker for good Christmas content. So everyone should definitely check that out and then follow them to stay tuned for... I can't wait to see... once everything gets going, I can't wait to see what happens with Sam Hill. Because after I watched that video, and then I watched the other... What's the other song that was on YouTube?
Willie's song?
Yes, Willie's song. Which actually, is today Willie Nelson's birthday, I think?
Oh, maybe.
I think it is.
Today, what's today, the 30th?
Yeah. Or was it yesterday? I saw something. Yeah, either way. Willie's song. Yeah, it's great. It's so good. And I was just like, wow, I'm stoked.
We went to go see Willie Nelson at Forest Hills. What a cool place. Did you ever go see a show there?
Mm-mm. Never been.
It's a great venue. But Nathaniel Rateliff was opening up for Willie Nelson.
Oh, cool.
Such an awesome show.
Yeah.
So cool. I can't believe he's still out there doing it.
Yeah.
His son is awesome, too. I don't know if you ever heard of Lucas Nelson.
Yeah, I have, but I've never, really listened to him or anything. But, man,
how about you? When do you think you're going to be gigging again?
I don't know. Right now I'm playing a friend's wedding. I don't know if she's watching, in September. But all other gigs, like I had only booked up through like July, like gigs, but everything pretty much is canceled or on hold. So I figure I would just not even going to try and book anything. I'm just going to see what happens because I have no clue.
Have you been working on like new stuff? Any writing more tunes?
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to release a music video in 2 weeks, Tired to the Bone, and then I have 2 remixes coming out for one of my songs, and then 4 new original songs like this summer into the fall. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, right now we're like editing and mixing them and doing all that, and I'm just trying to get organized. I think that's the hard part about like, for me, like when I'm out playing, then it's easier for me to like do the administrative stuff and buckle down on that. But when I don't have that like fulfillment, then I feel just all around like a lump of coal, unmotivated. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, let me just spend 8 hours on my computer doing all this like marketing that I freaking hate doing. But it's necessary. Like, how would anybody know about it? Like, what's it, but I just hope. I will see how things go, but yeah, I am excited. I feel like the 2 of the new songs I'm releasing this summer are like weirdly timely too, so I'm excited about that. But
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's a necessary evil. We were talking about that before, right? With the marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that Sam Hill has done for me. I mean, I just never cared about any of that. People used to be like, "Oh, do you have a business card? Do you have a website? Do you have that?" I'm like, No, I'm terrible with that, but I'm fortunate enough not to. I mean, I got the fire department, It's like, but it kind of makes me lazy in a way because I'm like, this is just for fun for me,
Yeah.
But Sam Hill's making me take it to the next level a little bit. They're quite ambitious, and so it's cool. I need it. I need a light. Because I'm kind of like musically lazy. I just like to have fun with it. The minute it starts seeming like a job, I run for the hills.
But I think that's so also like refreshing, and what makes it like, then I think I do find myself like if I'm really depending on the pay of the gig or something, my stress level is like higher going into it than when I'm just like there like, it's all good, we're gonna have fun, maybe I'll have a beer or 2, like, then it's like, then it's the best show because, it's all about what your energy is. So it's like, if your energy isn't right, nothing else really matters, because it just like is under a microscope once you're playing music and like vulnerable in that way, I think. So I think that's what's so also refreshing about seeing you live and being to your gigs and playing with you also is that you're just so level-headed and like chill about everything. So it makes it a much more happy experience. Like
that's like brings it right back to from day one. That's the whole idea. It was supposed to be a full experience for everybody to just have it fun, have a party, sing along, make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just like, let's just have some fun. Yeah. Because as soon as it gets tight and that pressure cooker is on, I clam up because I told you before, like as relaxed as I might come off, I have like stage fright and I get worried about it. So if I start thinking too much about things, it's gone. It's even like now when I was on the, just this pot, talking with you, my wife was messing around, or Giselle was messing around. I'm like, like I can't, I'm not a multitasker, I guess,
I feel you though. Yeah. But it is, so like with Sam Hill, do you feel motivated in a new and like different way of like, oh, this is gonna, there's more people like working the engine, rolling the wheels, like making everything go. I don't know enough car metaphors to make this a good metaphor, but you know what I mean? So that you can just sit and like drive and do all the things you need to do to be the best driver possible. I mean, do you feel like a relief kind of like, cool, if I'm playing a lot of gigs in a band, or do you kind of like being able to just rock up alone and like, I'm only worrying about myself?
Yeah, I guess, we spoke about that before because like when it is a group effort, it seems like, it's not, the spotlight's not completely all on you and you don't have as much of a responsibility. But and now I have people that I'm accountable to, like, so when I'm alone, it doesn't, nothing matters, I just go out there and have fun. I charge what I charge, and I try to always make it so there's not a lot of pressure, you know, and that's why even the advice I had given you, like, oh, you're worth this and this, I don't follow my advice. I can't even give it out. But I'll go to places just to play as long as I know I'm going to have fun, you know? So, but this is good because they're Scott and Mike and Ed, they're really like, they're squared away guys, and they want a good product to put together. And it could be a little bit like there's a little bit of pressure, but it's going to take it to the next level. If I just flounder around and do acoustic gigs my whole life, it'll be great, but I don't know that I'll ever take it to that next level. Like, we're getting like full nice recordings and stuff and videos, and it's cool. Like when he had said to me, "Oh, I want you to do this U2 song," you know, and I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna cover a cover of a Christmas tune." It just didn't. I was like, I don't know about that. But what I did was I showed up in that ridiculous Christmas outfit and my mustache.
Yes.
And then it made it fun, you know, and it was like, oh, wow. And then when I heard the recording, I'm like, wow, this actually came together quite well. Like,
it's cool. So good. Yes, it's awesome. Yeah. It's an awesome video. And actually, I can't even believe I forgot the guitar that Ricky played in Hard Candy Christmas, like an epic, sparkly turquoise. Yeah. It's your guitar! I forgot you loaned that to us.
Videos.
Oh my God!
I made it in 2 Christmas videos, like separate bands. I mean,
that guitar is iconic. It is so good. Oh my God!
I love that thing.
Wow, that is so crazy.
Sparkle. As soon as I seen it, I was like, there it is. It's just like, you know, when you see something, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even care what it sounds like. I have to have it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
No, but it turns out it sounds pretty good too.
It sounds great. Oh, that's awesome. Man, well, I'm so stoked. Thank you so much for coming on today. Before we head out of here, Taylor's going to play us a song to close out the show. And I have the lyrics I'm going to put up on here. Oh, do I have the lyrics up on here?
And before I do go, I want to do a very special thanks to my pal Benjamin Metzger. I mentioned him the other day that he's doing Zoom lessons.
Okay.
Like he's got a ukulele class on Tuesdays, and he also has a jazz theory class he's teaching on Sundays, and that's kind of been really, you know, lighting a little bit of fire under my butt to learn how, you know, what's behind the scenes, you know, because if you keep just going, doing what you're doing, you feel like you hit plateaus, and sometimes it's time to take it to another level, and he's been helping me with that. So that's Benjamin Metzger, also known as Benoit. Check out his Facebook page and link and stuff like that.
So are you doing privates with him, or is it like group lessons that he's doing?
The ones that I've been taking with him are group lessons. He does do private lessons too.
Group is good though. I feel that's like also needed right now because it's just a different kind of accountability.
It's so cool. Yeah. We're going over like some jazz standards, and before this all went down, it was so cool. We would meet at his studio, and then you got like young kids there, you got high schoolers there, and you got adults all wanting to learn jazz. Yeah. And then it's so awesome because then he books a gig, you know, and then he features this jazz band,
cool.
You know.
Yeah.
So you got young kids like, and people love it. Like, you know, you got young kids playing, you know, Footprints and some, you know, Coltrane tunes and stuff. It's so awesome, man. So that's been a big help, and that's been, you know, that's cool that he's still keeping it going during this whole thing. So just wanted to mention him.
Yes, definitely. Man, well, thanks so much for coming on, Taylor. All right, I'm going to put these. You won't be able to see the lyrics, but everyone watching will be able to see the lyrics. So you can just tell us a little bit, I guess, about why, if you want to preface the song with anything or not. I'm going to put them up, and I'm going to mute my microphone, so just start whenever. Yeah?
All right, cool. This tune is called I've Got Peace Like a River. I figured it'd be a good one for home church. I mean, it's like sort of a biblical tune, and it's just, I mean, the irony is I heard this tune not in church. I heard it sang at a bar. This guy, Ron Etheridge, down in North Carolina, he was covering this tune, and I mean, this guy is so soulful, and if you know, you should check him out. He's on Spotify. Just a beautiful voice, a great songwriter, and I actually reached out to him recently to ask him if I can cover one of his original tunes, and he gave me the blessing on that too. So I'll be putting that one out on Facebook soon. It's called Rattlesnake. But anyway, this is an old tune, you know, biblical tune called I've Got Peace Like a River. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. Now I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. Now I got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. Oh, I got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got peace like a river. Now I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. No, I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Yay! Awesome! Thank you so much, Taylor. You are
Thank you.
The man. Everyone check him out. I'll put all his info in the description. Thanks
so
legend.
Much for having me.
Yes, we'll all follow you and watch all your live streams, and I can't wait to see what Sam Hill does. It's gonna be epic. Yeah.
No, it's good, man. It's good. I'm looking forward to getting some original stuff mixed in with it. So
yes, I can't wait to also come up to New York and see you guys while I'm drinking a beer on the boardwalk by the beach. It's gonna be great.
Man. Can't come soon enough,
That's
right?
Great. Yeah, totally. Well, stay strong. Thanks so much for being on.
Thank you. Thanks for running this channel. It's great. Yeah, definitely.
Of course. All right, talk to you later. Man. Bye, Taylor.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Taylor Searing. Everyone check him out. Oh, this is his information right here. Oh, there we go. You can follow him on Instagram at Taylor Searing or Facebook.com/Taylor.Searing. He is just an awesome... I would say he is one of the best people I know. Just all around coolest, authentic person. I hope everyone enjoyed this home church today. Give me a comment. Let me know if you have any suggestions, things you want to see, songs you want to hear. Send me a message. Call me, text me, beat me, if you want to reach me. However, let me know. Thanks for being here. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Stay strong. Happy Thursday. Lots of love. Bye, y'all.